So on Palm Sunday, Jesus rides into Jerusalem. Hosanna! But then at the end of the reading, it tells us that he went to the temple and he looked at all things. And then, because the hour was late, he went back to Bethany with the disciples. Now, there are other times in the Bible when it tells us that Jesus looked at something. More often than not, he looked at a person. But this is him looking at all things, everything. And we know what he saw. He saw moneylenders. He saw second-hand pigeon salesmen. He saw commercialism in his temple. We know that Jesus knew what was coming. And we know that he often prayed during the night. So when he's gone back to Bethany, we know that he's probably spent some quality time with the Father. But that's not our story. Our story starts the next morning. Jesus is walking back to Jerusalem from Bethany. It's breakfast time and he is hungry. There is a handy fig tree by the side of the road. This then might be a source of breakfast. But when they get there and look, it's all bushy, luscious leaves, but no fruit at all. No breakfast here then. Maybe this reminds Jesus of the temple the night before. In fact, it reminds him of the whole nation of Israel, full of so much promise, but no fruit. Jesus leaves on an empty stomach. But when he gets to Jerusalem, that's when it really gets wild. The fruitless fig has been cursed and destroyed, and the temple is about to meet the same fate. Things are going to be turned upside down for a lot of people. He enters the temple and he drives out those who sold and those who bought. He overturned the tables of the money changers and the seats of those who sold pigeons. He would not allow anyone to even carry anything through the temple. And he is teaching them, saying, "Is it not written, 'My house shall be called a house of prayer'? But you have made it a den of robbers." This isn't a fit of rage. Jesus assures us that he only does things that he sees the Father doing. This is the Messiah, unafraid of people, unafraid of death, trying to get our attention, to remind us of what being church really is.
The reading you just heard is about Jesus turning the tables in the temple. And it makes me think of the types of conversations we're having now about how we do church. That we need to not just grieve for the fact that we can't do Holy Week and Easter the way we've always done it. We need to turn those tables. We need to be ready and excited to explore new ways of doing things. And we need to commit to carrying those new ways on into the future. Jesus disrupts our traditions. God requires and enables us to change. Let's use this Holy Week as a time in which we can consider change. Let go of some of the old things. Celebrate them, let go, and walk forward in faith.
Jesus, you have turned our lives upside down, and what we once knew is in chaos. As we survey the overturned tables of our lives, we notice how much we had, and we give thanks. We notice our neighbours had less on their tables, and we confess we should have shared more. Teach us what things are worth us salvaging, and help us to learn the joy of letting go. Overturn our sorrow into joy. Focus us on the things that money cannot buy. Help us to smash systems that oppress and scatter our prejudices across the floor. Help us to destroy our barriers and borders and to radically rearrange our world.